I thank you for staying with us on Good Morning Nigeria. Newspaper review is next on the menu.
We have Chukwudi Abuja with us again this morning. It's a pleasure to have him here. Good morning to you, sir.
My dear, not my twin brother. This is the real Chokes the boy. How are you doing?
Very well.
Nobody calls me that anymore. And you better forget it because I'm beginning to creak in the wrong places again.
Perhaps nobody wants to seduce you. Good morning, welcome.
Look at me here. Newspaper review.
Victor, that's too early. Anyways, let's get serious and look at what the papers have this morning. We'll begin with the Business NG. The lead story on the Business NG says Zamfara, Yobe, Sokoto lead as Nigeria's most affordable states in June 2025. And that's according to NBS. Zamfara, Yobe, Sokoto lead as Nigeria's most affordable states in June 2025. Interesting. Above that, London seeks to ease Nigeria-UK payment barriers, and that's on page 2. Above the masthead, INEC extends voter registration in Anambra as over 96,000 sign up in 9 days. Of course, those in Anambra are looking forward to a governorship election later in the year. Away from that, we have federal government to halt fish importation, plans aquaculture growth. Lagos, food inflation bites. Onion, 130,000 naira. Pepper, 140,000 naira. Rice, 75,000 naira. Okay. Below that, DMO raises 4.27 billion naira in July 2025 savings bonds. All right, that's all I can take from the Business NG this morning. If you want to read up more stories, pick up a copy. Let's see the blueprint now. The blueprint, of course, has Buhari as its lead headline. Buhari was a decent man, never moved by power. That's credited to Tinubu. The writers, Akpabio, Abbas, NGF, others extol ex-president's virtues. He was a devoted servant of the people. According to some governors, fake names made after late Nigerian leader. Above that headline, we have Ondo landlord, 2 others arrested over kidnap, murder of 2 varsity students. Away from that, above the masthead, we have FG losing revenue to MDA's negligence, according to FIROS. Tunji Ojo, Alake, Umahi, Kiari, Utsev, Hadiza, Usman, bag blueprint impact awards, and of course, no new terror group in Nigeria. DHQ counters Turkey envoy. That's on page 9. Benue to shut down 4,000 substandard schools, according to official. And finally, in the green strip at the bottom of the front page of the blueprint this morning, we have NOA sensitizes Gwagwalada community on flood safety. Victor.
All right, thank you, Ian Ray. And I have Leadership Friday here. The bold headline here reads, Tinubu renames University of Maiduguri after Buhari. It's on page 7 with quite a number of riders. Says he was a leader of austere honor. Quiet courage affects tribute session in ex-president's honor. Buhari's son Yusuf tears up while giving vote of thanks. Ex-president was misunderstood. That's credited to Shatima. Buhari was principled, says Akpabio. He was a moral compass, Abbas. All right, and the picture story tells a bit of the story. The president, the vice president, and the children of the late former president. Now, above the nameplate, Etunupe demands new strategy to fight bandits. It's on page 8. And on page 7, we are grateful to those who have forgiven our father, Buhari's daughters. And beside the nameplate, ADC calls for audit of refineries. You can get that on page 8. And coming down the line, National Summit, delegates seek Constituent Assembly. You can get details on page 8. States reject Electricity Act Amendment Bill is on page 17. And landlord connives with kidnappers to rape murder varsity students is on page 15. And finally, soldiers reject 13 million naira bribe from terrorists in Plateau.
let them reject more and more and more and more, and at the end of the day, really deal with them, insurgency and banditry. Bravo to those soldiers. In these times, it is not very easy resisting certain things. Now, humility is in some families as if it's a member, the unseen member of the family. We are grateful to those who have forgiven our father. That's coming from one of Buhari's daughters, or rather Buhari's daughters. That I call humility. Because we live in a country where you tend to see more fire for fire. Do me, I do you. For people to read some of the things that were written on social media and still be able to talk like this. As I said yesterday, it's little things that make me determine character, not the big things. So for them to talk like this, I want to say that they are worthy daughters of their father. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Leader of austere honor, quiet courage. Buhari's son tearing up, that's, spilling tears at the occasion there. All these are to be expected. The moral compass he is, that's coming from the
emotions too.
Of course. Yeah. However, when Buhari said that time, I am for everybody and I am for nobody. Of course, spoken like a general. That's what he was saying, is that I'll be fair to all, even if it be my mama, it doesn't matter. Fair is fair. But at the end of the day, I still saw a Buhari that was saying, I must have hurt some people when I was in power. Please forgive me. For people to say that, stop looking for that man with the egregious blunder. We all blunder to some extent.
To err is human.
To err is human. To forgive is divine. So let it end on a very happy note, because the subject has departed this earth. Did you say that Zamfara, Yobe, and Sokoto,
the most affordable
in June,
I'm beginning to think of my next locations then.
The next location.
Honestly, it would be good.
When he hear
It would be great.
he go tell driver, forget my transport for house. But on a serious note, one would have thought that with the kind of things happening on that access, cost of living and all that would increase. The governor, I think, of Zamfara is actually thanking the World Bank, then commending the school feeding program and all that. He says those have given a soft landing to what would have been a harsh conditional situation. That's part of it. But still, I am rather thrilled to consider or to hear that states in the epicenter, well, you could say that Borno is more in the epicenter of the insurgency there, are having this kind of a record, from National Bureau of Statistics. It's quite interesting. The landlord that got 2 students raped and killed,
kidnapped, and murdered.
They said one of the boys was rude to him. That was all the reason. Thank God they didn't jump to Fulani herdsmen in this matter. Look, many evils are happening in Nigeria, given a banner that is deceptive and all that. Of course, the herdsman matter, you see cases where the herdsmen are indeed a problem for people. But some people are using them as a camouflage. I would have thought that that's the first thing they would say here, It's like a news writer starting with an unknown gunman have done whatever. You're telling the police there's nobody to investigate because they're unknown. That's a bad way to start the news. They've stopped it now. And some of us cried ourselves hoarse, shouted ourselves hoarse on social media about it. So I am happy that he has been accosted. And of course, the people he sent to do that as well are in police net. Can you see man's inhumanity to man?
To man. Very sad. And there's this one flying around on the internet about 2 sisters who masterminded the kidnap of their own brother. Well, anyways, let's leave all of that. Just hope that all of this will change. There's this story that's caught my attention. It didn't make the headline, but I want to hear your take on it. FG suspends recruitment into NIS. NSCDC, FFS, of course, this is the ministry Victor covers, and the Nigeria Customs Service and all of that, over glitches. It caught my attention because I remember the first time this announcement about the recruitment into these agencies was announced. After some days, we were told it's been suspended, and then it resumed again, and now again it's been suspended. I think the reason they are giving is glitches over the traffic on the internet. And I'm saying that when will all of this stop? That happens all the time when, you know, agencies of government announce that they are recruiting. I mean, can't we get this right so that people who really want to apply can apply, and then some people are not, you know, one way, I don't know.
I don't want to. I think I did about 4 documentaries for somebody concerning the NIS. Are they the ones with the, what did they call them? I can't remember now. But the point is that many of these internet protocols they installed in their offices are not really at their best. I'm not talking about the NIS one now. I'm talking generally. They really are not state of the art. The glitches do happen. Broadband realities for them.
Is it deliberate just so that some people do not apply?
I don't know.
Because I mean, if you want to make this open and fair, so that I mean, all Nigerians, those who want,
I'm seeing it in a different way.
Okay.
Yes, glitches have been adduced, but doesn't it also tell a story of the sheer magnitude of people trying to apply, which is what it's causing it to break down? That's the way I see it. The sheer number of people that need employment.
Yeah, but the input you're making it onto a computer will be input that has been anticipated by the computer.
Perhaps this wasn't.
You know, I think it's more of, it's just like the traditional banks, you know. Their internet protocol isn't as efficient as those of the fintech, whatever. It's not. You send money to, maybe this sounds like an advertisement. You send money to one of these online banks. Before the person hears spam, then you send from the conventional or traditional banks. You say, wait for maybe 10 minutes, it will come.
Sometimes you wait for days.
Exactly.
That's also...
It is still internet protocol deficiency. And these are people who are going to announce humongous profits at the end of the year. But they won't give a lot of money to make sure that broadband for them is something that is seamless. But
that's also, you see, we look at it from 2 sides. You've seen one side where it is swift. That's also how swiftly, if you are swindled, if money goes out your bank, you never get it. It runs very fast before. Nobody will even listen to you. So you look at it from both sides.
Even with the traditional banks,
easier,
if you want to be swindled, it also happens.
It is easier to manage than. So perhaps it is the security protocol, maybe, I don't bank, I'm not a banker, but maybe the security protocol makes it...
delays it deliberately.
Yes, a bit. On those banks you talk about, if your money goes out in an unauthorized manner, you never get it.
Anyways, away from banks, talking about this recruitment,
I don't know whether
it is important to get the internet services right for recruitment purposes, so that those who want to apply get the opportunity to apply, and then, of course, I mean, the screening is done and all of that, so that, you know, the right candidate is picked at the end of the day, and then it's not a situation whereby some people are favored and, you know, somehow.
No, I think, let's not be alarmist. I think genuinely there could be a challenge, because even if they want to do it, bypass what you're talking about and pick the people they want to pick, they'll do it. They'll tell you the people that are going through, that the people that went through were considered.
Let's not push us into speculation. The point is, make these things work. The way they work in some countries we know. They are not ghosts.
All right. Many thanks, Chukwudi. We need to leave it at this point. We'll see you next week. And I hope that you do not creak next week.
Before they grab a cup of tea.
Thank you.
All right. We'll get into our conversation, but that's after this break. Please don't go anywhere.